Welcome to Climate Quickies, bite-sized nuggets of climate goodness from our TEDxLondon experts in under 10 minutes.
In this week's Climate Curious, we're cleaning up the cloud. All the excess digital storage, especially with big companies and increased AI usage, is having a real impact on the climate. And our guest this week, Vijay Karia, has made it his work to help eliminate the excess ones and zeros with his company, OptiCloud. That's good news for companies getting to save money on storage, and it's good news for the rest of us with a reduced impact on the environment. Not to mention, OptiCloud is reinvesting back into indigenous communities in the Amazon. Now, are we talking really big numbers here? Vijay tells us his work with companies to save them millions of dollars whilst cutting their emissions 30%. On how tackling digital clutter could play a vital role in climate action, let's go over to Vijay now. And remember, stay curious. So we're joined today by Vijay Karia, co-founder and CEO of OptiCloud. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is because I want you to tell our listeners what that is and what is this topic that you're working on that's we haven't covered yet.
So we created a platform to help the world create digital sanitation. And in the physical world, we have waste management and the concept of recycling. People know that the ocean is dirty. People know the landfills, and we need to be better about how we reuse physical materials. What people don't think of is how much virtual waste there is. And we built a platform to eliminate the digital waste of the world and recycle it into good. So we recycle that into efforts in the Amazon and protecting indigenous communities.
Okay, so many questions from what you've just said. Digital waste. I have to admit, this is not really something I've thought of. What is digital waste?
Yep. So digital waste, think of everyone has an iPhone, everyone has a computer. Businesses have servers that run in the cloud. We've been marketed that the cloud is infinite space and doesn't come at a cost. And, everyone knows that everything comes at a cost, and the cost really is energy. And examples would be, think of how many extra emails you have that you don't need. Think of the junk emails in your inbox. Think of duplicate photos on your phone. Think of oversized computers and servers and data centers that, people don't go back and realize how much they're using and how much should they use. It's all wasted energy.
This is really interesting, actually, when I look at my partner's inbox, because he doesn't delete anything. Like all the junk mail, all that. It's horrific for me. I look at it and I'm like, but that is garbage. Like, why are you not throwing it away? And he just keeps all of it.
He's not alone. He's not alone. That's all I can say is I was with world leaders at COP29, and when I brought this up, I really just said, who in the audience has at multiple email addresses, who has spam and junk in their inbox, and really just like everyone's email inboxes, businesses, governments are all suffering and drowning in digital waste. And it's a digital ocean now. There's 8 billion people on Earth, 200 billion connected devices.
Wow.
And there's 25 times more devices that are connected to the internet than humans. And now we're talking about building 10 billion robots. The advancement of AI is just accelerating all of this problem of digital waste.
Yes.
And really, we're thinking about doing something about it to solve that problem, but also not just solve it. This is waste. Today, this doesn't do anything for anybody. And people get charged a lot of money for it.
Right.
So, and we have limited energy supplies. Those energy doesn't come free of cost. It also comes at the harm for the planet.
I want to ask you a bit about, I want to ask you so many things, but before we get to that, I'm really curious as to what your background is that got you to working on this.
So, I've been in computer science for 20 years. Before that, I was a professional tennis player.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
But I've been in tech for 20 years, and when I saw the large language models came out, it's probably the first time since mobile that we've seen a technology that could just revolutionize and in a way, this is going to revolutionize every industry all at the same time. And so I was thinking to myself, put in the hands of people that use this for good. It's one of the best forces on earth. People that use it for bad, it's one of the worst forces on earth. And I was really just trying to come up with a way of what is the best way I can use this technology for the health of the planet and for the good of society. And I landed on this concept that the physical world has waste management and the virtual world doesn't. And I was like, why doesn't it? It's because it's a pain to clean all of this stuff up. And AI agents could be digital garbage men. And and no one will feel bad about it because it's doing the work that they don't want to do. And it'll save them a lot of money. And then in my head, I was like, okay, well, recycling doesn't exist in the virtual world. What is the best use for recycling? And I landed on the fact that the Amazon is the lungs of the planet.
Right.
And without the Amazon, which is very much in trouble right now, we're in deep trouble for the planet. And the indigenous people that live there are the guardians of that forest, and no one is helping them. And these are my people. My mother's from Ecuador, and I have a deep connection to those tribes, working directly with them. And it's really it's the concept of one man's waste is another man's treasure. And really my thought is, if we could eliminate this waste and reinvest it into people.
Right.
And these are millions of people that are suffering, losing their homes. And if we lose those people, those are the people that are actually doing the most for the planet. They make up 5% of the population and protect 80% of the biodiversity on Earth.
It's every time I hear that number, every time I hear that statistic, it blows my mind. And I guess I'm curious to know how does that side work, like of this model that you have? How does it help those communities?
Yeah, so what we do, so on a good year, when I started coming up with this, I started learning more about the indigenous communities and who's helping them today and what they're doing today. And really that world centers around nonprofits. And when I spoke to some of the leading nonprofits in the space that help these communities, I asked them, on a great year, how much are you raising? How much are you getting to these communities to feed them, support them, protect them, help them protect their forests, help them make those forests thrive? And on a good year, it's about $10 million. And immediately I was thinking, there's no possible way we have a shot to really make the big difference that we need to with $10 million. And so I thought there needed to be a new business model, one where a private company could generate enough revenue and feed in some of this revenue and savings that we generate for companies into a nonprofit. So we created a nonprofit, Canopy for Humanity, and we're driving savings from businesses and taking a portion of those savings and feeding it back into this nonprofit that works directly with the indigenous communities. An example of a project that we're working on even right now is a caravan program with the tribes in Para, where COP30 is going to be hosted later in November. And this project is going to enable 1 million indigenous tribes, members of tribes, to actually show up and be present. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the things I've actually heard about with the COPs, is that even the indigenous communities, the small island nations, etc., they don't have the resources to send large delegations to represent our interests, because they're always representing our interests. They're never representing just their own interests, and yet the guys who are representing, and as always guys who are representing just their own interests, have almost unlimited funds to send as many people as they can. So that's very cool. I'm very excited to hear about where you get to with this project. I want to ask you about the success you've had so far on this project. Like, give me some numbers.
Yeah. So we've already saved a company $1 million and lowered their emissions by 30%.
No way.
Yeah.
Like 30%?
30%. That's how much waste is out there.
That's also amazing. They must have been amazed and pissed off at the same time.
At the end of the day, it's just a whole world of misaligned incentives. So, CEOs don't want their business to go down. So when they go to their CTOs, when they go to their development teams, they say, please make sure my systems never go down. And IT teams, they don't want to be called in over the weekend, late at night, if the system goes down. So what do? They oversize everything. They never have time to go back and analyze the data because the data sets are so large of what did I actually use, how...
Even on a personal level,
yeah.
You buy your cloud storage from Google and you never actually think, is this right for me?
Exactly. And so it's those misaligned incentives that create this massive digital ocean of waste. And,
do we have a sense of size?
We're probably one of the first measurement systems to actually measure the energy usage of the cloud and emissions of the cloud and the waste of the cloud.
You're talking things like Apple iCloud, Google Cloud, the Amazon servers.
Starting, we're talking Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Kubernetes. But when I said that we're going after digital sanitation, it will also be iCloud and others.
Okay, great. Got it.
So that's really where our direction of our company is headed in.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this with us and this idea. And I'm really excited to come back to TED and talk to you again and get my own little digital AI garbage man. Thanks, Vijay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to this quickie.
This episode was created by our superstar podcast team at TEDxLondon. Until next time,
Stay curious.